Let's have that conversation that nobody really wants to have. It's time to talk about some free agent options to replace Ardarius Washington. Look, I know that Ardarius Washington wasn't going to be an every down starter on this team, especially after drafting Malaki Starks, but that doesn't mean that he was not incredibly valuable. He tore his Achilles yesterday. I don't know if you're late to the news, but on today's episode, we're going to look at who could replace him, who could step in and give some of those minutes that Ardarius Washington was going to in the 2025 NFL season. Before we dive into any of the options, make sure you guys join us right here on the Ravens Rundown. We've been battling the Chiefs all month long, and we're going to continue battling them until May is over. We're as close as we've been through the entire month. Only one subscriber behind the Chiefs report. If you hate Patrick Mahomes, if you hate the Kansas City Chiefs, if you love the Baltimore Ravens, there's 3 reasons right there to hit that big red sub button. Help us pass the Chiefs and lock us in for everyday coverage of your Baltimore Ravens. So Ian Rapoport was the one to break the story yesterday. Hashtag Ravens safety Ardarius Washington, who's expected to play a key role in Baltimore's defense next season, has torn his Achilles, the MRI has confirmed. The injury, which occurred during conditioning, will cause him to miss most or all of the 2025 season. And I said in my video yesterday, I think absolute best case scenario, he's back for the playoffs. But I wouldn't hold your breath. I wouldn't expect that to kind of be what happens. And if I'm being honest, it still hurts really bad. Woke up this morning and was just so frustrated, so bummed, so sad for Ardarius. Everything that he's done to put himself into this situation. This was going to be a contract year for him. He just signed that $3.20 million restricted free agent tender, and he was going to ball out. He was going to have a massive role in this offense in this defense because of what he was able to do in 2024. He posted this on Instagram, said, "Words can't describe how I feel right now. Up thinking right now, why me? Why now? All I want to do is prove I'm one of the best in the business year after year. But God said not right now, so until then we wait. I appreciate everybody who reached out, made your love. It won't be long until I'm back standing on business. Know that." And I love the attitude that he's taken. He's going to need to continue to take that attitude every single day into his rehab to get back on the field eventually, hopefully sometime in 2025. Before we get into the free agent targets, though, make sure to spam 29 in the comment section down below to show Ardarius some love. He did wonders for this defense back in 2024. In my opinion, was the reason for the turnaround. So show him some love. Wish him a speedy recovery by spamming those 2 9s. So the good thing about this is like I said off the top, you're not looking for an every down starter. You drafted Malaki Starks to be that every down starter next to Kyle Hamilton. What Ardarius Washington did was allow Kyle Hamilton a little bit more versatility. And that's what I want from this next guy, if there is going to be a next guy. I want that guy to be able to, go back in there, play the strong safety role while Malaki Starks is playing the free safety role, and while Kyle Hamilton is in the nickel. Well, he's in the slot. Let Kyle Hamilton move around a lot because as of right now with the injury, Kyle Hamilton is now back to playing free safety. Pretty much on a down-to-down basis. I want a guy who lets him go wherever. And we're going to start with Justin Simmons. He was formerly with the Falcons. You probably know him best for his time with the Denver Broncos. And when I look at all these options, when I think about all these players, and when I'm talking about all these players, I still believe that Simmons is probably the best option. Now, he did take a little bit of a step back in 2024, but I think that's more of the fact that he played for a defense that couldn't get a pass rush going to save their lives. Only 62 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. He did have 7 pass breakups and 2 interceptions. We all know him to be an absolute ball hawk. He was fine in coverage, 210 yards, led up 3 touchdowns. Quarterback rating of 86.90. But again, Ardarius Washington, it's not like he was this unbelievable coverage safety. And if you look at the past 3 years before his time in Atlanta, he was, freaking awesome. 70 tackles, 69 tackles, 80 tackles. He had combined 27 pass breakups and combined 14 interceptions in the 3 years prior. He's a ball hawk. He loves going wherever the football is. He takes the football away, which is what this defense needs, especially when you go into the postseason. Justin Simmons, he did take a bit of a step back last year, but I genuinely think that a guy like him could come into Baltimore and things wouldn't skip a beat, okay? I think that's what they want. They want a guy to be able to come in here and things not skip a beat. Justin Simmons could be that. Justin Simmons has the ability to be that. I need you guys to shout them out in the comment section down below. Name a safety for me that you believe the Ravens should sign. It could be Justin Simmons, could be either the two guys I'm about to talk about, but you give me a name down below in the comment section. Let's talk about another guy, Julian Blackmon. Formerly was with the Colts this past season, now is still a free agent, and he had a pretty decent year in coverage in 2024. Not bad, not incredible. 19 for 23, 374 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have 3 interceptions, which I think is phenomenal. And what I love about Julian Blackmon is he seems to play a similar type game to Ardarius Washington, right? They play very similarly. They're both really good tacklers. They both can force turnovers. We saw Ardarius Washington force that massive turnover against Russell Wilson at the very end of the season when you played the Steelers in week, I believe it was 17. Both of those guys can do really great things when they're in the lineup. Both those guys can cause really great turnovers, and both those guys also are guys that, you would like to see not in a starting role, but can still give you great minutes. I think Julian Blackmon would be a wonderful fit in Baltimore, a wonderful fit right next to Malaki Starks, and again, allow Kyle Hamilton to have a little bit of positional versatility. We're going to talk about Malaki Starks real quick, okay? Because you can get his jersey right now at chatsports.com/Starks. Massive shout out and thanks to Fanatics, the sponsor of today's video. If you want him, it'll be in the number 24, but you can get it in purple, you can get it in white, you can get it in black. And now with this injury to Ardarius Washington, I've got a feeling you're going to be seeing even more Malaki Starks than you would have in 2025. So make sure to lock him in. This is going to be the next great safety in the Baltimore Ravens history. I can promise you that. Chatsports.com/Starks is where you got to go to get that jersey. That link will be in the comments and description of today's video. Let's talk about the last guy, Jordan Whitehead. This past year, he spent time with the Bucs. And also was with New York at some point in his career as well. And he had, of these 3 guys, the best season most recently in 2023. 97 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 9 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Had a pretty good year last year as well in 2024. And all that to say, if you take any of those 3 guys that I just mentioned, I'd have confidence in all 3 of them. I think there's some really, really good options still out there on the market for that safety position. I think of all the free agent options, when you look at every single position group, I think safety is honestly the strongest one, which is kind of one of those things where you say, okay, this is maybe, I don't want to say it's a good thing because it's not a good thing at all, but this is something that you can combat. This is something you can get a guy in there this next season off the free agent market, and he can come in there and do really great things, do really strong things, and allow your best players in Kyle Hamilton and Malaki Starks to do what they want on that back end. Jack, I got a player 2 stat comp. Do you mind throwing it up there? I already got it clicked on. If I show you this, right, this is exactly what Ardarius Washington meant to this past defense last year. When he came in and took that full-time starting role, week 11, this team was turned on its head. It went from one of the worst pass defenses in football to one of the best pass defenses in football, right? Now Ardarius Washington's not in this lineup, but you got Malaki Starks. All you need is a guy to not be every down, like I've said 100 times, to be a guy to go in there, give you really strong minutes, create some turnovers, be good in coverage, be really aggressive in the run game, because that's what Ardarius did best, and just go out there and be a dog, right? Because you got Starks, you got Hamilton. Who are you going to pair with him? If you had to pick out of those 3 options I just gave you, pick one to sign. If it's Justin Simmons, type JS. If it's Julian Blackmon, type JB. And if it's Jordan Whitehead, go ahead and give me a JW. If you look at the safety depth chart as of right now, this was after the draft, right? Ardarius Washington was in that starting strong safety role. Malaki Starks in that free safety role. Now I got a feeling Kyle Hamilton jumps back in the free safety role. Malaki Starks move over to the strong safety. But you look in the depth chart, and you look at the second in command, the second up, in Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane. I kind of wonder if Baltimore's going to end up doing anything on the free agency market, if they're just going to look at those 2 guys and say, hey, this is your time, go and step up. From everything we saw last year in the preseason, I really liked Bo Braid. I thought he was one of the better guys in the preseason last year. There's a reason he was an undrafted free agent and he ended up making the roster. He's a Maryland guy. He was a Terp. He's aggressive. He's really great in run defense. He's a sure tackler. He plays a very similar type game to Ardarius Washington. Both very similar sizes as well. Maybe Bo Braid's a little bit bigger. But still, I would not be surprised if Zach Gore, Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, they're looking at the guys they've gotten those depth pieces and saying, you know what? We believe, we've got a feeling that these guys can come in there and be the next guys to take that next step up. Would not be surprised one bit if they didn't even go into the free agent market and we're just confident in the guys that they had behind them. We're going to get on out of here today. Make sure to keep us locked in. We're going to have our full reaction to the Baltimore Ravens schedule later today. So make sure to follow me at Joey Petersen 8 on Twitter. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'll be updating you guys all day long on X as schedule leaks come and anything else involving the Baltimore Ravens. So hit that sub button, follow me on social media, and join us right here on the Ravens Rundown.